Hiya fam. Vennstravaganza, Chapter 2, Part 4. Just so you know, this is going to be broken into 2 parts just so that it is not absurdly long. I am literally going to film this, pause halfway through and say, see you in 30 seconds, and we'll be on our merry way. Whether YouTube renders it that quickly so that they both post back to back, that might be a different story. Speaking of speed, hey, do you remember that time? Oh, I don't know, like 8 weeks ago, when I said, the dust will settle and we'll get updates more regularly and we'll all be on our merry way and all that good stuff. Please join me as we all collectively stare at our wrists with a pause for dramatic effect, because that is, in fact, not how time works. I will not go into it. You know how it is, XYZ. But here we are. Vennstravaganza, Chapter 2, Part 4. So, you know what it is, you know where we are, you know how we got here. If you don't, I will put in a fun little intro with just a method to the madness. Just as a recap, in Chapter 2, Part 1, we covered the Jane Davenport Brights set. Chapter 2, Part 2, we covered Jane Davenport Neutrals. Chapter 2, Part 3 was the Jane Davenport Glitz-Sea. And here we are for Part 4, the Combo Pack. So let's take, is that the right? Haha, just a quick peek at our Vennception diagram. You will recall that the combined pigment list for the Jane Davenport Brights, Neutrals, and Glitz-Sea sets is the exact same as the combined pigment list, for the Prima Marketing Classics, Tropicals, Decadent Pies, and Pastel Dreams. Kind of weird. If we added to that list the PBK7, the set list will also then include the Prima Marketing, Odyssey, Woodlands, and Essence sets. We might not review these. If we don't, I will still post. I have those Venn diagrams already made and ready to go. So if we don't review them in a video, they will go onto my blog so that you can still see them and still get your Venn diagram fix, just without the sarcastic commentary. So, I'm still not sure. We'll see where this goes. Now, I will post the high-res scans of the pages and everything on my blog. However, do you remember that time? Oh, I don't know, like 8 weeks ago, when I said I hadn't gotten my hands on these paints, so the swatching was just done with whatever I had on hand that was close, and to take this color analysis for what it's worth. Yeah, so still that, but actually it's just a teensy bit more exciting since there's been a delay between filming those and filming these, and I might have misplaced a list that had which duplicates I used for what. So this close enough, what we do today, might just be a smidge different than the last close enough. I think I got them all. Take this color study for what it's worth. The scans will still be posted, like I said, on my blog, which is gingersnapshot.wordpress.com. If you want to see exact colors, you should check with someone who owns these paints, because that person is currently not me. But rolling right along. So actually, I must confess, this is the maximum amount of desk space that I am able to display at one time. So, my painting studio, which I fondly refer to as the cat cave, which is very multi-use room, but mostly dominated by cats. Cat cave has knee walls, so it's the converted attic. We don't have the standard ceiling. So my phone, which is filming right now, is touching the ceiling because it's the knee walls. So this is what I got. So what ends up happening is I had to split this onto 2 pages and basically redo this Venn diagram to fit onto 2 pages because I had this as my spatial limit. So it's slightly odd, and that's a little low actually. Let me. How's a power brick for you? Is that maybe? Yeah, that works. And then just make sure we're still over. I think that is mostly straight. So yeah, so this is the limit of what we've got. So I cannot also fit the swatches in the frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just run down this list really quickly, and then at the end I'm going to go down the list in the order that we have gone through them already and just kind of point them all out just as a recap. And like I said, it's all going to be scanned. Sorry, we're coming back on a weird note. So I would like to start in the clunky spot again, just to get it over with, and then we can be on our merry way. We're going to basically just kind of do our standard meandering, especially since I can't fit the swatches in the frame. So we're going to just run with this. Now there are 3 paints that include some combination of the PG7, PY14, and PB15:3. And they are Sylph, Lorelei, and Sea Mist. The Sylph I have labeled Roman numeral 26, and that contains the PG7, PY14, and PB15:3. And then and these are going to be just incredibly awkward shapes in this because I tried. Guys, I really tried on this. And this one there's just no way for it to not be ugly based on what's happening. Okay, the Lorelei I have labeled Roman numeral 33, and that contains PG7, PB15:3, and PY14. And then the Sea Mist I have labeled Roman numeral 34 and also contains the PG7, PY14, and PB15:3. Yeah, I'm not going to fuss with that. That's just how that looks now. There are 3 other paints that contain PG7. They are Jiminy, Mermaid, and 70s Eyeshadow. So the Jiminy I have labeled Roman numeral 6, and that contains PY14 and PG7. The Mermaid I have labeled Roman numeral 5, and that contains just that single pigment PG7. It's going to be another day of A++ coloring inside the lines, I think. Especially considering it's a little wobbly. But we're not aiming for perfect. So that is adequate. What is next? Next is 70s eyeshadow, which I have labeled Roman numeral 4, and that contains PB15:3 and PY14. Following that, there are 2 more paints that contain PB15:3, and they are Butterfly and Enchantress. The Butterfly I have labeled Roman numeral 3, and it is just that single pigment, PB15:3. Oh yeah, A++ coloring job today. Nailed it. Totally nailed it. Enchantress I have labeled Roman numeral 32, and that also contains PB15:3 and PY14. Wait, did I goof on that? Oh, I definitely goofed on that. Yep, that was, that was an oops. So, that I can probably lift. Do I dare attempt to fix it, though? Yeah, probably. I can probably get that. Yeah, we can definitely do that. Guys, we are off to a great start. Okay, 70s eyeshadow is Roman numeral 4, which lives over here. Because it contains the PB15:3 and the PG7. And that's how that works. Okay, stop fussing. How about Enchantress? The Enchantress is the Roman numeral 33, and the Enchantress is the PB15:3 and PY14. And it's that one. And the duplicate color that I'm using, I'm pretty sure is an opaque color. So this oops is likely going to be between you and me. And we'll just run with that. Crisis averted. Okay. Actually moving on now. There are 4 other paints that contain PY14. They are Buzzy, Frolicsome, Water Spirit, and Cocoa. So the Buzzy I have labeled Roman numeral 1, and it is just that single pigment, PY14. After that is Frolicsome, which I have labeled Roman numeral 29. That contains PR 101, PY 14, and PR 48:4. There are no other paints that contain PR 48:4. Right, and this is a fun one. After that is Water Spirit. So the Water Spirit I have labeled Roman numeral 25, and that contains PR 101, PB 27, and PY 14. Cocoa I have labeled Roman numeral 24. That contains PR 101, PY 14, and PBK 9. Depending on how much background noise, you might be able to tell what day I'm filming this on. There's a lot of fireworks in the background. We're not too close to fireworks though, so that's probably the sound of just a bunch of hooligans in their backyards with brilliant A++ decision-making skills. Okay. There are 3 other paints containing PBK 9. They are Raven, Dove, and Ink. So Raven I have labeled Roman numeral 18, and it is just that single pigment, the PBK 9. Who here has played Portal 2? Because this isn't typically the time where I will turn to the person closest to me and say, "Happy Explosion Day, gorgeous." Which is a line from Portal 2 that has nothing to do with Independence Day or fireworks. But it definitely works. That's how we do things at Casa Snaps. Next is Dove, which I have labeled Roman numeral 16. That contains PW6, PBK9, and PB29. And there we go. Okay, after this is ink, which I have labeled Roman numeral 12. That contains PB27, PBK9, and PR101. I'm now going to second guess basically everything that I touch so that I don't oops again. Definitely adding to your Venn diagram experience, obviously. Okay, stop fussing. So there are, what's next? 3 other paints that contain PB27, and they are Nereid, Sea Nymph, and Spice. So Nereid I have labeled Roman numeral 27, and it is just that single pigment, the PB27. After that, Sea Nymph, I have labeled Roman numeral 31, and that just contains PB29 and PB27. Yeah. Oh. Hang on 1 second. I had mixed some up, but I apparently put a lot of water in it because now it's barely showing up. Yeah, take this color study for what it's worth. My goodness. Okay. After this, we have Spice, which I have labeled Roman numeral 22, and that contains PY42, PR101, and PB27. I think this one. There we go. Okay, so that is half of the paints for the Jane Davenport Combo Pack. So I am going to stop part 1 here, and I'm going to see you in 30 seconds for part 2.